How was up, y'all? It's Poppin'. It's D. About to react to this vid by Impressive. It's titled Keith Lee Puts Chad Johnson in His Place. Kandi Burruss' weak response to Keith's critique of OLG. So I see a few of the blogs have covered this story. I've never heard of Keith Lee, but apparently he's a food critic and he reviews different restaurants. And the city of Atlanta was pressed about him reviewing their restaurants, child, because apparently his reviews were negative and they were threatening to kill him. The ghetto. But sure, let's get all the deets and see what happened with this. Let's watch.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Impressive channel. A very popular social media influencer by the name of Keith Lee has been trending all week for his food reviews in Atlanta. He's been actually doing a food tour in different cities, and
I ain't gonna lie, I need to hear what his review entails because I personally don't care about bad service if the food is fire. I ain't gonna lie. If you kind of rude, I will take a little rudeness if your food compensates for it. And unfortunately, that is kind of the norm with like local black spots, which is really sad, very sad. But so I'm used to it, and if the food is good, I'm gonna keep going back. Like one of my favorite soul food restaurants here in LA, they are not pleasant at all. They just got attitudes all the time, but the food hits. So I'm gonna go back for them oxtails, that mac and cheese, yams, all that. So I wonder if he's going to complain about the service alone or if the food is a problem too.
when he reached Atlanta, he didn't have the best experience. Some restaurants had odd rules and they didn't provide takeout services. And also some restaurants didn't treat their customers fairly at all. And this is what Keith exposed. He noticed that these restaurants were quicker to give him special treatment. Meanwhile, they would have their regular customers waiting for an hour to 2 hours just to get a seat. He noticed that they did this at Toast on Lennox, Old Lady Gang, and The Real Milk and Honey. So he basically exposed the unfair customer service. Keith has a very large following. He has well over 14 million followers on TikTok alone. And his food reviews can literally make or break a restaurant. And a lot of these restaurants invite him over because they want free exposure. So when Keith shows up, they're going to roll out the red carpet for him. They're going to make sure he gets the best services, make sure that they're on their best behavior so he can get
that's a great job.
Meanwhile, they treat the other customers like an afterthought. And Keith doesn't like that because he doesn't feel like the experience is truly authentic. You can't treat him one way, but then treat the other customers another way. So I totally understand his viewpoint on this.
That's common though.
And he has been calling out some of these restaurants in Atlanta, and it has caught a lot of attention to the point where he and his family were receiving threats, and staff from other restaurants have been receiving threats too. I mean, it's been completely chaotic.
Again, I can't win for this. I understand everybody will have an opinion on the situation. You can disagree with me. You can not like what I say. Completely understand. I'm okay with that. But when my safety and my family safety start coming into play, that's where I draw the line at. But what can't happen is with my family or the restaurants or anybody's safety start coming into play. It's absolutely overboard. Especially when I was asked to give my opinion. Because you telling me my opinion only matter if it's positive. Because if it's positive, you got my face plastered on the wall and you saying Keith Lee been here. But if it's negative, I need to sit down somewhere and you don't know who I am. Me and my family will postpone touring if other cities gonna be like this. Every review not gonna be the best. I'm gonna be 100% honest. If you want me to come, please understand, I will be honest. And nobody's safety should be on the line. Not mine, not my family, not the restaurants that we go to. Relax.
Now, one of the big viral moments of his Atlanta food tour was when he reviewed the Real Milk and Honey restaurant.
We're at the Real Milk and Honey on Main Street in College Park. Before we came, we attempted to call our order in. We were greeted with an automatic message that said they do not take call-in orders. The automatic message said the only way you can do pickup is through DoorDash. We went through DoorDash, they was closed. But online, it said they closed at 5 o'clock. We went on DoorDash at 4 o'clock, but we were already here, so we just went inside. I sat in the car and my family went in and they told them they were closed early for deep cleaning. Yet the door's wide open and it's people still going in and grabbing their order. For the record, afterwards, I did walk in and they did recognize me and they attended the services, but I respectfully declined. I'm a normal person. I pay for my food like everybody else. I walk in spots like everybody else. We are all normal people. Respectfully, if you're not going to do it then, don't do it now.
So that's what Keith had to say. And Keith always encourages people not to trash these restaurants or trash the employees at these restaurants. His intention is not to take away business from these restaurants at all. However, he has to be honest, right? So he didn't have the best customer service experience at the Real Milk and Honey. Now, it was said that one of the managers at the restaurant actually responded to this video and she dissed Keith. She said, y'all let an autistic man tell you where to eat. Also, it's only TikTok. Nobody give an F in real life.
I know you fucking lying. That is so trifling to say that. So because he's autistic, that makes his opinion invalid? He can't give a proper review? What type of ignorant, idiotic shit is this? That's so disgusting to say.
For real. The owner of the Real Milk and Honey also responded, and he basically dismissed Keith.
Did you see this Keith Lee video about the Real Milk and Honey?
And who is this Keith Lee?
Daddy, you don't know Keith Lee?
Yeah.
No.
So he tried to play Keith Lee and say he
That
didn't
was
know
lame.
who he was.
Why do all that?
Obviously he knew, but he was trying to play him. And he got scalped for that. People went in on him, and of course,
That
his
was so
company had
lame.
to issue a statement, and they had
We
to
don't wanna hear
apologize
it.
because the
Fuck outta
backlash
here.
was so great. But at that point, the damage was done.
Yes, you did try to discredit him. Talking about he autistic.
Turns off complete focus.
Eat a dick.
Came by and reviewed the restaurant over here. You know what I mean? They're a little light right now. There's some folks in there, but they're not as busy as they normally would be, and the patio's empty. You gotta get that service together. All right now.
Now, I understand why Milk and Honey got the backlash it got, but I do think it was really, really weird and twisted of people to send threats to some of the employees at the restaurant. In fact, they were sending threats to the wrong restaurant.
The Real Milk and Honey and Milk and Honey are two different restaurants. The Real Milk and Honey is the restaurant we went to. Milk and Honey is a restaurant we did not attend. I already was very clear and transparent. I asked y'all not to leave hate anywhere. But specifically, don't leave hate to the Milk and Honey. They didn't do anything. Update, I just received a notice from the owner of the Milk and Honey. The place that we did not go to, them and their employees been receiving death threats. I'm absolutely 100% not with that.
When I saw this, I kind of said to myself, okay, I get it. People get upset when they're not.
He can't control that. He doing his job.
I also do feel for some of the staff working at these restaurants because people can be really rude and nasty. Are weird. And it's really hard to please everybody. It's also hard to always accommodate people because sometimes people go into these restaurants, they sit there for a long time ordering multiple meals, which makes the wait time so much longer for the other customers. And these restaurants are already packed and they're already bombarded with all of these orders, so they're not always able to give the best customer service, especially when things are so hectic and busy and people are so demanding. So I can see it from both sides. I can see where people are upset when they don't get the service that they feel like they deserve, especially since they're paying customers. But also I can see how the staff can get overwhelmed and have to resort to implementing rules because it's just a lot. I mean, the restaurant business is not an easy business to run at all. But that's just me going on a whole tangent. Back to the topic at hand, I do think the owner of the...
I'm just confused because I thought Atlanta was like a really big city. Like, I'm confused why this would even be the case. Like, waiting 2 hours is like, that's unheard of. And I live in LA. Like, LA is a really big city. I'm sure it's bigger than Atlanta. But it's like there's so many restaurants here. I've never had to wait a crazy amount of time to eat. 30 minutes is pushing it. That's like max. And that's if it's a crazy popular restaurant and it's like a weekend or something. But just hours? That sounds crazy.
The restaurant did not handle the situation correctly. And he definitely deserves some of the backlash he got. And also the manager deserves some of the backlash she got too, because her calling Keith autistic.
She needs to be fired.
Even if he had a learning disability, doesn't mean that his opinion.
How the fuck you know, bitch?
I mean, their response and reaction was just trash. Now, Keith Lee also critiqued the restaurant Old Lady Gang, which is the reality TV star Kandi Burruss' restaurant. And once again, he pointed out the fact that he was receiving special treatment over the other customers at the restaurant. They were making other people wait, but as soon as he came in, they had a table available for him. And he made sure to send his family in first because he wanted to see how they were going to treat his family versus how they treated him. And of course, they made accommodations for him, but they were trying to make his family wait.
My family asked how long the wait was to be seated. They said an hour to an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Okay. She also said they didn't have any reservations available, so they didn't take down any number, any contact information, nothing. My family then came and relayed that message to me, and I decided to go in myself. The lady said the table was ready. As always, I don't want any special treatment. I want to be treated like everybody else. I pay for my food like everybody else. I'm a normal person. I'm a normal customer. So I asked how long the wait time has been today. She said an hour to an hour and a half. So which I then asked, how are you able to sit me in 5 minutes? Again, my family just attempted to eat there less than 2 minutes ago. I then told her I changed my mind. We're going to go eat somewhere else. And I said, God bless you. And I walked out.
I'll second thought. It's okay. We're going to trust the team. I appreciate that.
Now, Kandi Burruss did respond to this, and when she first responded, I thought her reaction was decent enough. I know some people weren't satisfied with it, but I actually appreciated the fact that she acknowledged Keith. Instead of dismissing him, she actually showed gratitude towards him. So she wasn't disrespectful at all. I thought it was a very professional response, but some people didn't like it because she didn't address the special treatment claims. I do think Kandi avoided speaking on that because she didn't want to throw her own business under the bus, and I can understand that. Now, she actually did do an interview, and she was asked about it again on the Neighborhood Talk. And this time her response was a little bit weird because she basically justified showing Keith Lee special treatment over her other regular customers.
To be honest with you, I think people need to understand that Keith Lee, I'm a fan of his page too, I watch, right? And we know that he can help make or break a restaurant. And right now, it's like a time where all the restaurants aren't doing that great, right? So anybody would want him to be there. And I just feel like at the end of the day, well, first of all, I didn't tell her to show him no favoritism because I like you. I know that he doesn't like that. But, you know, our host, I don't know, she said that it was because she checked the people off the list and that's what happened. But even if it wasn't, I think he needs to understand that people want to show him love. And it's not that we don't love our customers, but if we let one celebrity or one influencer go early, it doesn't hurt the rest of our customers because he's taking pictures, he's doing stuff, and a lot of them are happy that he's there. But if he doesn't eat at our restaurant, it does hurt us because all the business they had the opportunity to show them how great they was, and they had lines wrapped around the building. We don't.
The video got cut off there, and honestly, I wasn't here for this response. As an owner, I
mean, she kept it 1,000 though. What are we unhappy with? She told the truth. This is business, okay? This is what all restaurants do. If you got a fucking popular person that comes in, especially a food critic who's going to critique your food and contribute to your business, you're going to want to give them special treatment. That it just is what it is. Not saying it's right, but it's business. Business is not always right, okay? It's not always moral, and it's just it is what it is. I would do that too if I had a business. I'm like, okay, let me roll out the fucking red carpet for him. I'm gonna give him real fresh food, obviously. But I don't understand what people are confused by.
do think Kandi should have taken some accountability. I don't think she should have justified what her staff did because that makes her customers feel like you don't value them as much as the celebrities. Now, I get it. She wanted Keith to be there so he could give her restaurant a rave review so she could attract more business. But if your people are going to treat Keith differently than they treat the average customer, the review wouldn't be authentic. People wouldn't be able to trust it at all. So that defeats the purpose. I think Kandi missed the opportunity to really take accountability here, and it does make her business look funny. Now, Keith Lee also got some backlash from the former football player Chad Ochocinco. Chad ripped Keith apart on the Nightcap show for critiquing black businesses.
Okay, I like the fact of what he's doing.
I know you fucking lying. Hold on, I gotta put this to regular speed.
I don't like the critiquing of our restaurants and having people and talking bad about our businesses and like, dude, you know how hard it is for us to even get in the food industry and to have our own restaurant. Like, what are we doing?
That's such a goofy
food critic. Gordon Ramsay is the only food critic I know.
Oh, a white man. Oh, you won't trust him because he's a white man? So you sounding stupid. You're contradicting yourself. Just because a place is a black business, that don't make them exempt for a critique. What are you talking about? So we're only supposed to show these places in a positive light just because we're all black? That's stupid. That would have them give terrible service to everyone and not give them an incentive to be better and give better service. Like, what? That's so stupid.
So what makes you a goddamn food critic? Oh, because you have a platform? Because you got social media?
Yes, ballhead.
You know if you have
people trust what he has to say.
That magnitude, you shouldn't be saying nothing bad. You should be praising all motherfucking restaurants.
That's stupid.
You're not going to disagree with that.
Exactly. That's why I fuck with Shannon. That makes no fucking sense. I'm about to follow him, actually. I've never heard of him before all of this, but now I'm interested. But I like when people review certain things. It helps us as consumers. If everybody just only speaks positively of everything, how the fuck we gonna know where to go, ballhead? You not making no sense.
What Chad said was some BS. I'm not gonna lie to you. And I get that he's frustrated with the idea of
I don't get shit. That's stupid. No. Because these black businesses need to do better. And a lot of them be on some bullshit. If you black, you know. You know it's the truth. It's very sad. And obviously it's not all of them because I've been to some great, black-owned restaurants and black-owned businesses and they've been very professional and all of that. But there are some that you go to and the attitudes are bad. The service is bad. The effort just isn't there. And they expect you to support them just because, we both black. No. Fuck that.
Scope like this, but I do think it's helpful in a sense because it does actually give these business owners incentive to make improvements when it comes to their customer service. But also, I believe
powers.
Keith has done a lot.
I use that exact phrase. Listen.
For a lot of these businesses, he has visited restaurants that have been underrated and
I keep
undermarketed.
trying to prove my
and
powers to
review
y'all.
from him has completely turned things around for some of these restaurants. Like, he has been saving a lot of businesses.
The name of this place is
Oh,
the Dining
see?
Experience.
That's
It's about 30 minutes from downtown Atlanta. When we put up, it's completely empty from the parking lot to the actual restaurant itself. Nobody. Now, like I said, when I was done with my food, I walked in, and the guy that I met, who was the waiter, he had some of the best customer service I experienced in a long time.
So this is how really the Keith Lee effect is. All these calls, I live in this area. Over here at the dining experience. And
Period.
I'm on the
So
side of the
look,
building.
he's doing
so
good.
You ride past this, me and my son, every day going to and from Peachtree City. Don't stay empty. Now it's packed. We waiting to
All
go
of
eat.
this.
Like the Keith Lee effect is definitely real. Definitely real.
This was just one of the many examples of the Keith Lee effect. When he co-signs an establishment, he completely turns the business around. And there are so many businesses that he has helped. So it's crazy to see that people are claiming that he's only bringing negativity to these businesses.
Exactly.
He's helping more businesses than ever. Also, I didn't like the fact that Chad was saying that Keith should only say good things about restaurants, even if the restaurant experience wasn't the best. Like,
That's
why
so
would you want
dumb.
somebody to lie to you and make
fuck
you
you
spend your
talking
hard-earned
about?
money on something that isn't good? That makes no sense.
None.
Not only that, I didn't like how he tried to play Keith and make it seem like his opinion didn't matter because he's not an acclaimed chef like Gordon Ramsay. You don't have to be an expert when it comes to food. If the food is good, it's good. If the service is good, it's good. And if it's not, it's not. I mean, when we go online and read Google reviews and Yelp reviews,
Especially these people who are food critics, it's like, and yeah, everybody's taste is different. So you can't say one person is more qualified over the other. That don't make no fucking sense. But these food critics, they try so many different restaurants, so they have a lot to compare it to. So I would say that that's their experience. That this is their expertise. Because it's like, if I'm trying all of these different chicken spots, I tried like 30 different chicken spots, I should be able to tell what are the best ones. And sometimes, you know, obviously everybody has different taste buds, but sometimes things are unanimous and it's like everybody loves, or most people love a certain type of food or a certain type of dish or whatever the case. So it's so ignorant to be like, oh, you're not qualified. Like, what?
we don't question whether or not these people are qualified enough to critique these establishments. No, we read these reviews because we want to get an honest review before spending our money.
Exactly.
We watch videos of people reviewing certain products because we want to get an authentic review. And Keith is out here doing the Lord's work and giving authentic reviews. So I think people are just hating on him because his platform is so huge and they feel like he's not important enough to have an authority on what is good and what's not good. But I appreciate his platform. I do.
How he not fat? I would be
obese. Was a bit
obese
pressed because
with
he's
this job.
probably friends with some of these business owners, and he himself is probably a business owner, so he kind of identifies with the owners who are being critiqued. But that comes with the territory. I mean, if you're going to offer a service, you got to make sure the service is good, because if it's not good, you will hear from the people. Now, Keith Lee did clap back at Chad, and this is what he said.
Let's talk about it. First, I want to say God bless you, and I respect your opinion. Your opinion is just as valuable as the next person's opinion. But I do agree with you. It is hard to open a restaurant. It is hard to get the funding. It is hard to have people come in. I agree. And I'm blessed enough to be a marketing platform for those restaurants, completely free. To me, it seems like they have no idea who I am. And again, that's okay with me. The main point was my qualifications. I'll be honest with you. I've been a professional fighter for almost 10 years. I've traveled the world eating food. I've cut weight from anywhere from 170 pounds to 135 pounds. And food is one of the most important things when it comes to cutting weight. So at the end of the day, I'm just a foodie. I agree with you. I've been blessed enough to be in this position. But then in return, I want to ask you, what are your qualifications to have this firm stance on this topic? Because to me, this seems like your first time ever seeing me. And if it's not, again, I have another question. Why is this your first time speaking on me? We've been blessed enough to raise over $40,000 for a restaurant owner who has cancer. We've been blessed enough to be used as a vessel to retire a teacher in less than 24 hours. We've been blessed enough to be a part of keeping multiple restaurants doors open. And all of this within the span of 10 months. I want to be very clear. That question isn't to say you or anybody else should know who I am. I simply ask, if this isn't your first time seeing me, what stopped you from talking about the positive things we've been able to do? Specifically to the community that you are worried about us negatively affecting. And to your point, that's without any form of qualifications. And let's be honest, I think one of the main reasons of why we're here is because I'm relatable. I'm a customer like everybody else. I pay for my food like everybody else. I don't take anything from these restaurants. No matter how much business comes from any post I make, I don't take any money. If I was to go to school and get all the qualifications and start talking in big words that not a lot of people understand, will they still come out and wait in 4-hour lines? I don't believe so. I'm a normal person just like you. So again, you are completely entitled to your opinion, and so am I. And my opinion is that you should have done a lot more research before you made this firm stance.
Period.
Especially on a platform like yours. I don't go anywhere and just give my unsolicited opinion. You said I should only get positive reviews. The reason I don't believe that it worked because it'd be inauthentic. And hypothetically, if I was to be inauthentic and you waited in a 3-hour wait time and you got to the front and the food was trash,
You'd be mad.
who you gonna be mad at? The restaurant owner or me? Those 600 people who waited in line, they're gonna all make videos and say I'm a fraud. Say I lied. And that 4-hour line only gonna be there at one time because everybody gonna say the food is trash.
Simply just to spite me, not even a restaurant themselves.
But if it's a restaurant where the people really put their time and their effort into, that 4-hour wait time is gonna be 4 hours the next day, and the next day, and the next day.
God willingly, of course.
Again, I'm gonna be very clear. I think you are completely entitled to your opinion, just like I am. 99% of my videos have ended very positively. So to make the narrative that all I do is turn out businesses is completely false. This is my last time speaking on anything that has to do with Atlanta.
Atlanta really stressed Keith out, I'm telling you. Now, Chad had to eat some humble pie. His daughter checked him when he criticized Keith, so he had to take the defeat and lay off of Keith.
My daughter hit me like, listen, we team Keith Lee over here.
Period.
I said, damn, baby. You doing your daddy like that? Well, you know, when your daughter gets you together, yeah, you ain't gonna win that. Hey, Keith Lee got me together though, baby. Hey, that was a good one. He ate me up buffet style. Hey, you know he crazy. Anybody talk like that and be nice and calm? Yeah, he crazy. Yeah, he crazy.
Anyway, tell what y'all think about this.
He handled that well. Because what he was saying wasn't making no goddamn sense. But yeah, this is really sad that he couldn't go to Atlanta and just do his job, you know, without people insulting him to this degree, being very disgusting in the comments that they made about him, and, you know, threatening his life and his family's life. And that's just too much. Like, really? Like, who wants to eat there after all of that? Like, I definitely want to go to Atlanta because I've never been, but just hearing these things about their restaurants is just like, what? And even given that some of them, you know, it's normal for you to wait hours, that's so wild to me. That's so foreign. Like, I don't understand because, again, I did think Atlanta was a relatively big city, and, you know, I would think they would have a lot of options for restaurants. Usually when there are a lot of restaurant options, the wait isn't very long because people have options. They can go elsewhere. But 2 hours, and he even said a 4-hour wait. What the fuck? I'm not waiting 4 hours for no goddamn food. It's not that serious. But yeah, this was wild. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think. Let me know what other videos you want to watch, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.